And joining us on the line, great to be chatting to her again. It's been a while. So what's been happening in the interim? We're going to find out. We're joined by Michelle Gardiner. G'day, Michelle. How you doing today?
Hey, Clayton. Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So it's been a while. I reckon about 18 months since we last spoke. So what have you been doing? Gallivanting around the world, doing gigs in all sorts of amazing places.
Yeah. Can't put me down. Although there's been this little thing called COVID that's sort of been holding me down. But, it's been an interesting time. I think when COVID sort of first hit, it was a bit of a novelty, you know. It was downtime for me. I mean, I'm a mum and a singer, and I work and lots of different things. So it was a bit of a novelty at the start, but that's kind of worn off by now. But no, for the first sort of, what was it? First year of it, I did a Facebook Live every Wednesday night, which was my way of staying connected, you know. And the main reason I make music and perform and do those things is I love connecting with the audience and love the energy that I get back, and that's, you know, my main reason for doing what I do. And doing the live streams was a great way to sort of keep that going and keep that intact, and I found it really helped people out there as well that were perhaps, you know, a lot of people living alone and, you know, just needed something to connect with, and I found that really great to do for the first year, and I think I did about 35 shows in a row or something. So that kept me busy for a while, and yeah, I think it gets a bit confusing after that. You kind of, you know, wonder what's happening in the world, and I went a little bit quiet, but obviously I got my new single back out of the sock drawer that had been sitting there for a little while, and went, nah, come on, it's time to put something back out there. So that's why I've released my latest single.
Now, the single's called Things That I Don't Have, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But just on those performances, Michelle, I was talking to an artist late last year who had to stop doing them because they found that they were getting too used to them. That it was like performing in front of a live crowd was actually giving them more anxiety. And so they were in this sort of, they'd got so accustomed to doing it that to actually perform in front of a live crowd, they were, all the nerves were coming back where they were never there before. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I can totally understand that could be something that would happen. It was definitely something I was really, really nervous about doing a live stream. It took quite, you know, a bit to work myself up to pressing that go live button. It's quite intimidating. But yeah, you get used to something and get comfortable in the routine of doing something like that. Yeah. And I guess I could see how going back to live performing would be a different kettle of fish. But no, for me, my nerves kind of were always there when I was younger for live performing, and now it's more just it's an excitement. You know, it's more of that kind of energy around it, and just wanting to do a great job for everybody is more the nerves, I guess, that I get now. But yeah, no, I'm still keen to do my live performances, that's for sure.
And I'm sure you've missed them over the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, how does it go for you as a singer to, when you're not doing the gigs all the time, are you consciously sort of doing things to keep the muscle being used? How does it work as a singer?
Yeah, it is tricky. It's been a very...
Do you yell at the kids in a musical way? I mean, does that help? I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I mean, keeping your finger on the pulse, I guess, on Facebook and things, and just knowing what everyone's up to and where the industry's at, I think it's a really good thing if you're into, getting original stuff out there. You've got to kind of keep on top of that. But in terms of your instrument, being my voice, it's something where I do actually struggle to keep that in shape while there's no gigs. You know, you're not gig fit. You know, you don't have that same kick up the butt. You know, right? You've got to sing for 3 hours, get out there and do it, and do that every week, and you're gig fit. Whereas if you don't have that kind of schedule, you definitely lose it. You definitely lose the stamina, that's for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I've been a bit naughty and not really kept it up to scratch. But
had wondered.
I'm hoping it's still there somewhere.
I'm sure. Well, I think it'll just come back anyway. But I'm sure you'll get there. But it just sort of strikes me as being something very curious. How do you keep doing it? Because
I tried to have lessons. Like, I actually had a few lessons with Lynn Botel, who is an amazing singer and performer, and she's such a beautiful person. And she had, a few great tips for me, but like I said, I just lost a lot of motivation through there being no live gigs, and that really, I think, has affected musicians a lot psychologically, in terms of going, what's the point? It's a real struggle to get back up and go, no, I'm going to release music, or no, I'm going to book another gig, and I'm going to rally my band members. It takes quite a bit when it seems like the world is just shut down to it. You're not allowed to dance, you're not allowed to sing. It's this whole voodoo around it.
They try and stop artists.
Which has never sort of happened before. It's really strange.
They've been trying to stop artists doing their thing for thousands of years, and it just doesn't work because it's in the DNA, Michelle. You're going to do it anyway. And
that's it.
Whether it's a subtle thing of, singing your children to sleep, or whether it's being there in front of a live crowd, you're going to do it. It's in you. So, it's a talent and a skill that you cannot just let lie dormant, because eventually it will fight its way out. So
it does. It's very strange. Yeah, you're right.
So what about you weren't doing gigs? Were you writing new material? Were you working on things that front?
Yeah. I've got another song that's ready to go, which I'll hopefully going to be releasing just before Tamworth in April. So
Tamworth in April, yes.
Yeah, Tamworth is now in April, not January, which I'm hoping is not as hot. So, we've got to look on the bright side of things sometimes. But no, I was scheduled to go up to Tamworth in Jan, and rescheduled my flights and everything. So hopefully that all works out and I can be there in April. But, a new song ready for then. And then there's a couple of other songs sort of half-finished rolling around in my head, and I have to get back into the studio with my producer, Michael Zammit, and have a cup of tea with him and get those ones rolling as well.
Well, your new single out at the moment that we're going to be hearing shortly, Things That I Don't Have, and an interesting way that you were inspired with this song. Can you tell us the story? Yeah,
so I was in the songwriting mood, and I went out to my daughter, and I was like, "Oh, what do you think I should write about?" She's like, country music's all about your dog ran away and your wife's left you and all that stuff. She's like, why don't you write about something positive, Mum? Something about, that you're grateful for. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you right now. That's a great suggestion, and I'm definitely going to do that. So it was, inspired by her kind of going, hey, how about you write something positive? So, it was that. Then I sort of had to sit down and go, what am I grateful for in my life? Even though life's kind of crappy at the moment, what am I actually grateful for that is here and now, and I can see and hold on to, So this song goes through those sorts of things that are these basic things that most people have, that we can go, yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm sad that I'm not doing live gigs right now, but I can be grateful that my kids are healthy and they're, sleeping in their safe beds down the hall. I'm not going to a war like my grandfather did. We can still be grateful for things here and now. And the song was sort of something where I wanted to give that to people, but at the same time writing it was giving it to myself as well, because I'm not always great at remembering to be grateful. And I really think that the process of being grateful is the path to being happy. That is where happiness lies, in being able to be grateful for what you have and, appreciating it. And it's a tricky thing to do. I'm not saying I'm an expert at it at all.
No, I totally understand that. And that's the thing, that often when we go through the pandemics, not that we often go through them, but when you go through adversity and that, that's when you get reminded about the things that are important to you and that you should be grateful for, that we do take for granted every day.
That's it.
And they're often those things that are just around us. And it's not all the flashy stuff. It is just the simple thing of knowing that your kids are happy and safe and sleeping, in a safe environment. And it's those little things that we seem to forget, and we should start to take them more for granted.
100%. Yep, that's exactly right.
It is a song that will remind people of that, no doubt, when they listen to it and when they get to hear it. But where was the song recorded? Was it recorded here? Because I get this real sort of like, if you were told me that this was recorded in Nashville, I'd go, yep, I can pick that straight away.
Well, I will certainly pass that on to my fabulous producer. So Michael Zammit, he runs Airwaves Studios in Altona.
Yep.
Meadows in Victoria. So, yeah, he's a guy that records for a lot of people, and he's a great guy. So he's got a great process of really getting to know the artist. So he you go in there and we have cups of coffee for hours, and nothing is about music, and then getting into the song, he really understands how you want it to sound, not how he wants to make it sound. Do you know what I mean? So the process that he uses is quite personal, and he plays all the instruments. So all the instrumentation you hear is his creation. Obviously, I guide how I want it to sound and how the structure is, but he plays the instruments. So and then directs me in the vocal booth.
So when just going back to the coffee, is that Jack Daniels or Jim Beam flavor? Just wondering.
I'm not. It's so funny you say that, because I'm not a drinker at all. I don't really drink, and all my friends will attest to that. But if I do have a drink, it's either a super sweet Moscato or it's a Jack Daniels, which people find quite alarming. But yeah, if there's anything in the coffee, it's Jack Daniels.
just wondering, just asking. But yeah, when I was listening to the track, I straight away thought, wow, this is like a Nashville sounding song to me, and which I get to hear probably more than the Aussie ones. But it just had that Nashville sort of. That's just, I don't know how else to explain it. It just sort of had that sense that it just was straight out of Nashville. So, and I'm saying that as a complimentary, as a good thing, not as a negative thing.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, that's an awesome compliment. Like I said, I'll be passing that on for sure.
And he's
doing something right.
He can send me a bottle of Jack's. That's fine. I'll happily accept that. Well, Michelle, the song's out. So what's coming now? I noticed there's no video for it, which I can understand. But what else is coming up for you? You said about you're heading off to Tamworth in April. You've got another song around then. So are other things happening for you for this year?
Yeah. Booked in a few gigs in Melbourne. So I definitely communicate all my gigs on my Facebook page. So Michelle Gardiner Music on Facebook. And I'll be doing some gigs we're doing a big country band show on the 24th of February at the Altona Bowling Club. So that one's going to be an awesome day. Definitely bookings required for that one. And I'll be doing a few sort of trio stuff around Melbourne at the Spotswood Hotel, and also at Club Sunbury throughout the year. So, yeah, just keep an eye on my socials, and hope to see people out, in real life, in person.
The smiley, happy faces in front of you. What about the band?
It.
How's your band been coping with everything? Have you been able to have regular rehearsals?
No, we haven't. It's just been something where everyone's sort of just bunkered down a little bit, which is what I'm trying to get out of now this year. Trying to rally the troops and organise gigs so that we've got that goal to aim for. I think that's what you really need. Without that, it does sort of fall in a bit of a hole. So, but I see them on social media, and they're still picking away at their guitars, and their interest is still there. So they're awesome guys. I've been with these guys for about, my guitarist in particular, for about 8 years now, and the other guys in the band probably about 4 or 5 years, I think. So, yeah, we're really good friends, and we have a lot of fun when we do get together, but hopefully I can rally them for a few more gigs this year that get us out of that rut where we're not playing.
Yes, and I'm sure you'll be able to do that without any doubt. Well, Michelle, it's great to be catching up with you again. Good luck with everything, and have fun when you get to Tamworth as well. And hopefully you can venture this side of the border and we can get to see you one day as well. We've got your new single here ready to go. If you could please introduce it for our Flow listeners, and thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. This is my new single. The 17th of January it was out, and it's called Things That I Don't Have.
I don't have any empty rooms left in this house. They're all taken up by people that I love. A wedding picture hangs above the bed we've shared for so long now, and two baby girls lie sleeping down the hall. I don't have to wonder where I'll sleep tonight, where my next meal is coming from. And I don't have to close my eyes to dream of a life so sweet. They're wide open, staring at this world of mine. And when I start to doubt the great hand that I've been dealt, I stop for a minute to remember who I am, and see that I don't have any reason to complain. And I'm grateful for these things that I don't have. I don't have any tales of surviving wars to tell, sad stories of barely getting by. And I don't have to go very far to find a friend when I'm in need. Someone will help me out when I'm feeling down. And when I start to doubt the great hand that I've been dealt, I stop for a minute to remember who I am, and see that I don't have any reason to complain. And I'm grateful for these things that I don't have. The sunrise will smile, but then it fades for a while. But even in the middle of the darkness, remember to let the light find you. When I start to doubt the great hand that I've been dealt, I stop for a minute to remember who I am. Oh, I see that I don't have any reason to complain, and I'm grateful for this